Hello my model building friends, this is Brian with BG Model Workshop, and this is an entry video for the Wicked Workbench Customs group build on Facebook. It's being hosted by Robert Brittingham and Jake Earp. Those are a couple of cool guys I chat with once in a while online. They do some pretty good builds themselves, and they moderate that Facebook page pretty well, so they do a pretty good job of keeping track of that, of what goes on that page there. But their build features vehicles from 1930 through 1970, and as we can see down here, I'm just squeaking in underneath the 1970 banner. But the fun thing about Corvairs is these side marker lights were distinctive only on the 1968 and 1969 models, and if I was to shave those off, it could pass for a 65 through 67 kit. And the only difference between a 65 and a 66 was that the 65 actually had a red nose right here, and everything else beyond 65 had a blue nose. So it's really easy to change this kit around and make it a 65, 66, 67, or leave it as a 68, 69. But that aside, the special thing about this build is going to be the fact that I'm going to recreate a model my dad had made in 1968 when he was stationed in Alaska when he was in the Air Force. He and my mom were still dating at the time, and he'd snapped these photos and sent them to my mom in order to show to his brother Alan, who still lived in California also. And on the back of some of the photos, he actually talks about what he has done and was bragging a bit about the camera that he'd used to snap these photos with. But I recall him talking about the paint job that he had done on this. He had done something that was a bit darker at the bottom and faded to a lighter color on the top. Kind of like the reverse of a Mako shark, I think. It's kind of like how that goes. But on this photo here, and we at BG Model Workshop do not condone smoking, so we're just going to cover that up there. But the reason why the Zippo can is in this photo here, I remember him talking about, was to give us something to see a reflection in the paint. And he didn't use a gloss coat. He didn't use a lacquer gloss coat or an enamel gloss coat or anything like that. They don't think they even had Future floor polish then either. This is all straight out of a rattle can. That's how he did that. And he didn't even polish this. This is just straight out of the can. And in order to get that type of effect, these days, you know, we do the gloss coat or whatever. And I don't have the time to deal with that since I'm in, I think, 4 other builds right now. But plus we have a lot of travel coming up. We need to go to California because we got some bad news about some family, and we need to go to California in a few weeks here. So we're not going to have a lot of time at the bench. But that's a whole other video. But we're going to do the gold engine compartment and the green transmission, and try to recreate the engine as much as we can. And of course, we're going to do a modern day paint job, just trying to match the color as best we can. And we'll probably use some clear paint in order to get that type of luster that he has in this photograph. But here's another pic, again with the gold engine bay. I'm not sure why he did that. I'm not sure why he chose it. It might have just been the only color he had available, or perhaps it was going to bounce the most light around inside the engine compartment or whatever. But it looks like he's got the 4 single barrel carbs on here, the racier application. And I presume that he was going to actually go ahead and put the bumpers on. This looks like it's just a mock-up in this photograph here. But it also highlights the flying buttresses that we have in the back here. So that'll be... he actually talked about using a lot of putty to try and recreate the roof line. See how it thickens from front to back here. So on the model box itself, it doesn't thicken at all, the roof line along the top. So he added a lot of putty to smooth this all out. And I'm not a fan of puttying. I did a pretty good job on that 53 vent that I just finished, but that was just in small areas. I didn't have to fill in a lake of that stuff. So we'll see how that turns out. And hopefully we do a pretty good job. I was just noticing a few minutes ago before I started filming that the wheel combination on this car is actually still available in the kit. So there we have it, guys. It's unstarted. I have been through the kit though, because I've had it in my stash for many years, as a matter of fact, and I go through the kit once in a while trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. And then I discovered these photos in storage a little while ago, and decided that's the route I'm going to take with this kit. And this build gives me the excuse to actually work on this. So there we have it. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.